Hi, I'm Kurt. I'm a value investor and I am rebooting my investing journey. If you followed me before, you know that I was posting videos regularly a couple years ago and I am coming back from a long hiatus. You might be wondering what was I doing in that time? Did I give up on YouTube? Sort of, but not really. I had a lot of life changes. I actually got married, I changed jobs, and I moved to a whole new city. So a lot has been going on with me in the last couple of years. Personal finances, obviously, because of all those things, have changed drastically, and I had to pause on some of what I was doing investing wise. My time availability changed drastically, as you would imagine. But I'm ready to start again, and I'm ready to dedicate the time to the channel to share my experience, to share what I'm learning, the stocks that I'm valuing, and my journey along the way. My basic philosophy in investing remains the same. I'm a value investor. I buy stocks with predictable success that are trading well below their intrinsic value when the market is overselling them. I hold those stocks until they become uncomfortably expensive or until I see a much better opportunity. And some examples behind that, if you've watched some of my videos in the past or you go back to my Google valuation video, we all know that Google has gone up a ton recently. Now, when I did my evaluation in February 2024, I was a huge believer in Google. I was giving them what I considered conservative but still, optimistic projections on their free cash flow growth. I valued them at $275 when they were trading at $150 a share. I would have made 90% gains if I had traded just based on that knowledge, my valuation and the current price. 90% gains in less than 2 years, which is pretty good. But if I just held one more month after it reached my fair value target back in February 2024 when I made the prediction, and whenever it was, I think this past November, it got to 275. If I had just waited one more month, I would have had additional gains and I would have had a 120% return in that same 2-year period. So it would have added a lot of return. You could apply the same principle to Sprouts Farmers Markets. So when I evaluated that company back in May 2023, I was a huge believer then too. I gave conservative assumptions. I targeted the stock at $50 a share when it was trading at $37 a share. I would have made 37% return in 7 months, but if I had waited 3 more months after it reached my fair value target, I would have returned 75%, and that would have all been in less than a year. 75% on that $37 a share. So we all know Sprouts Farmers Markets. In hindsight, it blew up. It went way above that. But even if I had just held on a little bit extra, until I found a better opportunity or until it became so expensive I couldn't justify. So I buy the stock when I think it's trading well below its fair value. I hold the stock until it's trading uncomfortably above its fair value, or until I find a better opportunity to deploy that same capital, sell and rebuy something else. But it has to be a very good opportunity. So I hold until I find a much better opportunity. If I use the criteria of, I'll hold until I find a better opportunity, then I might be tempted to just sell quickly and put it on something that may be slightly better value, overall value proposition. But if I say much better, then I'm willing to hold on to the winners and then redeploy the capital when I find something that I have a huge conviction in. And that's sort of my philosophy. It all comes down to evaluating businesses properly, looking at their financials. And one of the things I'll do is I'll put out videos on how I do those calculations to find the intrinsic value of a company based on its financials. Doing those valuations and judging, is the company well below its intrinsic fair value? And am I very confident in this projection? Is the company stable? Is it predictable? Do I think it has a good story for success? Then we'll put those puzzle pieces together. That's where I give overall value rating if you've seen what I do. So I'll assign a fair value per share, an expected return on a 10-year hold based on my assumptions, and a value rating which incorporates some business financial pillars of the company that say, yeah, I'm very confident in my prediction. And the last part of my philosophy is just very simple. It's very Warren Buffett-esque. It's very value principles. Don't fall victim to overhype. There's stock tickers flying around because they're trading really well or because they're very low, but people have unicorn expectations of what the company is going to do in the future. not every company that's promising is going to become this amazing trillion-dollar company. So we have to cut out the overhype, put realistic and conservative, somewhat pessimistic expectations or projections just to keep ourselves in check. Look at it a few different ways, not just the hype scenario. But we also don't want to fall victim to over fear. When the stock market's trading down or where there's bad news in the market, or just bad news in the headlines and the whole market's trading down, we don't want to say, okay, get all into cash. So we want to be measured. We want to have temperament. Temperament is key. No overhype, no over fear, and no over greed. We're not trying to get rich quickly overnight or in the next couple of years. We're not trying to hit those home run stocks that are going to go up 500% just because. We have to have a mathematical basis for why we think a stock's going to improve in its share price based on where its price is today and where the financials of the business will lead it. So we're not necessarily going to get rich extremely quickly. We want to do better than the market by using these principles, but we can't be over greedy. We're not trying to get rich quick. We're just staying rational and measured. We're using our temperament. And we're trying to get rich slowly by outperforming the market over a long period of time. The next point I'm just going to say is that I'm constantly learning. I've learned a lot of lessons since I stopped doing YouTube videos in the past. I've watched back on my videos. Some of the stuff I was doing was absolutely silly. Some of the ways I was valuing businesses were absolutely silly. And so as I learned those lessons along the way, I'm going to hopefully share that with you all, because wisdom comes from making mistakes in the past and learning from them. So I'm realizing a lot of the mistakes I've made in the past on valuations. And so hopefully today, from those lessons learned, I'm even better at valuing businesses and deciding whether to buy a stock or not, and where and when to buy a stock. So I'd love to share that with you, and that's what I'll do over the next few videos. The type of videos that I'm going to be making going forward is this sort of the same mix of before, but just a little bit more focus on those stock valuation videos. I'll just go into individual stocks, and I'll be putting together 10 to 15 minute videos to share why I got to where I got on the valuation, what my assumptions are, and if you tweak those assumptions, what the fair value could be potentially. So I'll walk through my models on that in some of these videos. I'll also try to put out regular lists of my best value rated stocks, month by month, quarter by quarter, something like that, just to say, hey, here's 5 of my top names I'm looking for. And again, not all of those are immediate buys. I mean, you might wait for the right time to enter a position, but it gives, hopefully just give ideas to you to go crunch the numbers yourself and have conviction behind a stock. That'll just be for my personal, homework and research that I'm doing. I'll share those lists in the videos that I make. And last, I'll probably start doing some sort of follow along on my personal investment portfolio journey. I haven't exactly decided what account type I'm going to use and how much capital I'll be deploying and on what basis, but I'll probably reveal my personal returns, my decisions to buy and sell certain stocks, and share those returns openly, and it'll be partly entertainment to see how's my portfolio doing, and I'll compare it to the benchmarks. I'll be tracking my time-weighted returns, report how it's going, go over my strategy moving forward. So thanks for tuning in. If you want to follow along with all these types of videos, you want to follow along with my investing journey, then please subscribe. Please like the video and leave a comment down below. What are some great stocks you want to see me do a video on, a stock valuation video on, or you think that I should include in my value investing portfolio? I'm looking forward to this journey. Thanks, and see you next time.